Hi, I'm Amy McCaw. I'm the author of the Mina books, which are murder mysteries set in 1990s New Orleans. I'm also the co-curator of the A Taste of Darkness horror anthology, which is a collection of 13 spooky stories by different authors. So in the Mina books, Mina starts off in the first book where she's gone to visit her sister in New Orleans. She's enjoying all the spooky things that the city has to offer, even getting a job in a horror movie experience. But everything changes when she finds a dead body at work and she's plunged into a world of mysteries, vampires and murder. In the next book, Mina gets mixed up with the Slayers, but things aren't straightforward with that, and also there is a masked killer stalking the city and they seem to be circling closer and closer to Mina and her friends. And then in the third book, Mina and her friends and her sister Libby go to visit their parents at Roswell, New Mexico, which is a place that's known for its connection with aliens. The aliens supposedly landed there quite a long time ago. Mina hasn't seen her dad for 10 years and her mom just keeps disappearing on them. And when they turn up to the ranch, things are definitely not right. Everybody really seems to be fascinated with her dad and they'll do anything he says. And some of the behaviour is quite strange. When things turn sinister, Mina and her friends hightail it back to New Orleans, but they find that things aren't straightforward there. The group of people aren't quite going to leave them alone, and there is also a vampire killer who is taunting the press with spooky letters, threatening and talking about what they're going to do next. It was really fun writing these books. The initial inspiration was a trip to New Orleans in 2012. I was absolutely fascinated by the creepy locations, the stories that people were telling, and the fact that fact and fiction really has a blurred line there, that people, a lot of them believe the ghost stories and the vampire stories that they're telling, and I really wanted to play with that in a fiction book about vampires. The themes and the ideas behind the book, obviously they feature murder, they feature romance, they feature vampires, but also they're books about friendship, about found family, and about being put in a really difficult situation and showing what you're made of and figuring out who you are on the way. I'm going to read a little bit of an extract from the book right now, which will hopefully give you more of an idea of what it's about. At this point in the book, it's right near the beginning. Mina and her sister and friends have just pulled up near to the ranch where they will be meeting their dad for the first time in 10 years. Let's keep an open mind, I said. Dad isn't the most reliable guy, but I don't think he's serial killer material. It wasn't the best feeling to say that with a touch of doubt. Thanks for ganging up on me, Libby said, without much real hurt. She'd always been the first to defend Dad, but we've been through enough together that I hoped it wouldn't get between us. Finally, an opening in the fence interrupted the endless streak of metal. 2 red recording lights glared down from a camera on either side of the gate. Looks like we're about to see for ourselves, Della said. She let the car roll up to a sign. Trespassers will be shot was painted in red slashes across its grubby surface. That doesn't mean us though, Libby said, her confrontational tone daring us to correct her. Let's do this then, Della said. The gates opened as we approached, adding to the creep factor. Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps started playing as Della turned the Jeep onto a long gravel drive that wound through a wild growth of weeds and stunted trees. The car bumped over a line of crocodile teeth, no going back this way. If it's any consolation, I have weapons. Not funny, Libby said, grinning too widely at Della to come across severe. The expression withered on her face. Through the driver's window, I saw what had her so rattled. A rusted pickup truck was racing towards us through the weeds. The truck was advancing fast, but the windscreen was too crusted in dirt to make out who was driving. This doesn't feel right, Della said, whipping her head around and jamming the Jeep into reverse. Right, we're not going over those crocodile teeth unless we want to blow out our tyres. She put the car into park, hands tight on the steering wheel as we eyed the approaching truck. What do we do, Libby asked, already crossed over into panic. Talk to them, Jared said, his voice like steel. We have advantages they can't know about. We're not the stupid kids in a horror movie. We're the monster and the people who fight them. I hope that gives you a little taste of the books, and it sounds like something you might like to read.